summarize previous class or the previous chapter, what we have studied earlier. At least what are the things we were covering in the previous classes. I think previous 2 classes was about the introduction to the career progression. So, anyone? What we have learned in the past classes? Actually, it was an introduction where we have learned about the concepts related to the career progression. So what's career, job, work, occupation, career development, career planning, career counseling. So all these kind of concepts were learned in the previous classes, and we have learned about the career planning and management. We came across some tips for career progression and what are the skills you need and how you can progress in your career. So these are the basic things we have covered in the previous classes. So almost those things are related to the practical issues you are facing in your, or you might face when you move towards your career, or when you when you are progressing in your career. So these things might be involving in. Okay. So we doesn't consider about theoretical aspects, many theoretical aspects. Maybe we have seen some definition for the concepts. However, those are the basic things, basic theoretical things. But today, what we are going to cover is, this is much more theoretical while comparing with the previous session. Okay. So, because in today's session about career development theory. So this is what we are going to study. So you all have the LMS access, right? So I have uploaded the first chapter in your LMS. So you can find it and can use it for your study purpose. Okay. So I have uploaded the slides for the previous chapter, chapter 1. Okay. Anyone check that? Is it accessible to you? Representative, did you check? I have already uploaded. Actually, today only I will upload. Okay. So some of you said that it's accessible. So I hope everyone is having the access. So today we will start the new chapter. That is theories of career development. So when we have seen that career development is the process of developing your career. So you have to, it's an ongoing process where you will move forward in your career. So that is what known as the career development. So in relation to this career development, the previous scholars who worked on this field have developed some they have developed the theories which are related to these career development and development of a personality. Okay, not only the career and how a person can develop his personality in the progress in his or her career. Okay, so under this chapter we are going to cover following concepts. The first one, we will just see an overview of the career development theory. So how it has emerged and what's the need for the career development theory. So why they have been developed by the scholars in previous days. Okay, so that will be looked into. And the second part of the chapter, the whole chapter will consist of the career development theory, where we are going to, there are too much of theories are available in relation to the career development. So there are a number of theories, but we have just selected the most popular theory in relation to the career development. Okay, so these theories are called as the top 5 theories of the career development. So these are the top 5 theories. So the most popular theories in relation to the career development. The first theory is theory of work adjustment. Second one, the Holland's theory of vocational personality in work environment. Third one is the self-concept theory of career development. Fourth one is the Gottfredson theory of circumvention and compromise. And the final one is the social cognitive career theory. So these are the 5 theories we are going to study in this particular chapter, chapter 2. Okay. So when we see overview of the career development theory, the career development is the process by which a person's career identity is formed from childhood to a lifetime. So we have seen this concept in the chapter 1, what is career development. So it's an ongoing process. The career development of a particular person starts not only from, it doesn't start from when the particular person entered into the job market. So it actually starts from the childhood of the particular person. Okay, not when the person completes his educational qualification, or when you complete your graduation, or when you enter into the job market, only when the career development starts. So it's not the point. Okay, so the career development actually starts from the childhood, and it will continuously progress throughout the career. Okay, through the lifetime, the career development would be occurring. Okay, so it's a identity formed from the childhood through a lifetime. So it's the process, long-term process, it's an ongoing process. It doesn't have any end. Okay, so there are a number of career development theory, as I already said. It has been developed by many scholars. They have developed many theories to explain how this career development happens and what are the characteristics needed for a person to enter into the career. So how these jobs and work environment, and how this personality and the work environment and the jobs match each other. So in order to explain these kind of things, many scholars, they have developed many theories in relation to the career development. As such, the career practitioners need to be aware of each theory's strength, limitation, and the biases. Okay, so they have to be aware of the strengths, limitations. So when you are trying to apply a particular theory, you have to know about the strengths, limitation, and biases of the theory. Okay. For instance, most theories are limited in that minority, women, or the socio-economic diversity are underrepresented in the research. Okay. So when you study about this theory, or when you come across this career development theory, you will notice that these theories are underrepresenting the minorities in the society, like the women, or the people, or undercaste people, or maybe the people with some disabilities and all. So these kind of minority people are ignored by this career development theory. So there is no any special concern have been given to these minority people in the career development theory. So they are underrepresented. Okay. So also some theories may not translate across all cultures, since the studies are based on the experience of the specific culture. So whenever they are developing, whenever the scholars develop the career development theories, or whatever the theory, when the scholars develop that, they will just go through a research, and they will conduct the research, and based on the findings of the research only, they will develop a theory. Okay. So in order to conduct that research, they will select a research area, a research population, and they will collect data, and they will analyze it, and they found something based on the research, and based on the finding, they will ultimately develop a theory. So this is what happens normally. Okay. So because of the research area and the data collection done by the researcher in a particular area, or particular geographical area, or maybe particular culture, these theories developed based on the findings of that particular research may not be applicable to all other cultures. Okay, because the cultural constraints would be there. So sometimes a particular Western culture people may favor that things. However, when it comes to the Asian culture, that may not be suitable. So these cultural differences makes these theories not able to applicable to all the cultures. Okay. So these career development theory. So when we see what is a career development theory, so as we were saying that career development theories are postulated by the scholars in order to explain these career related things. So it's a study of career path, success, and the behavior. Usually, when we ask the question, what is career development theory? It's a study about the career path. So in career development theory, you're going to study about what's a career path and how a particular person move towards the career path or move in the career path in order to achieve a particular career goal, and how that particular person behaves when he goes across the career path. So that is what studied in the career development theory. So it aims to explain why a person might be a good fit for a certain career and provide advice on how to attain a promising trajectory. Okay. So the career development theory, as I already said, it tries to explain something. Maybe the relationship between the environment or the personality, or relationship between the job and the personality. So something they are trying to explain to the people. So they say that there might be a good fit for a certain career and provide advice on how to attain a promising. So if you have a promising goal or career objective to be attained, it says that how these goals could be attained. Okay, so that is what explained by these career development theories. So it focuses on identifying the common career stages when education, guidance, and other inventions are necessary. Okay, so these theories also try to identify some stages in the career development. Okay, so common career stages. So in which the persons or different persons from the different cultures or different background could move towards. Okay, so that stages could be identified by this career development theory. The career development theory comes from 4 main areas. When you look into this developmental theory, career developmental theory, so it doesn't emerge as it is. Okay? So it has borrowed or it has come from some other area. So with the contribution of the some other area, these theories have been emerged. So what are the areas which are contributing to the development of the career development theories are? First one, the differential psychology. So the differential psychology usually studies the differences in the people's behavior and what are the reasons behind that behavior. So like it will study about the differences. So the differential psychology has contributed to the development of the career development theory. Second one, the personality area, and the third one is the sociology, and fourth one is the developmental psychology. So personality psychology, sociology, and the developmental psychology. So all these kind of disciplines have been contributed to the emergence of the career development theories. Okay. So now we will directly move into the theories, career development theories. First one, as I have already said, we have just filtered out what are the main theories, what are the main career development theories, or most popular career development theories, which are also known as the Big 5 career theories. Okay, so these there are 5 most popular career development theories, which we can also call by the Big 5 career theories. So what are the Big 5 career theories? The first one, theory of work adjustment. Second one, Holland theory of vocational personality in work environment. Third one, self-concept theory of career development. Fourth one, Gottfredson theory of circumscription and compromise. And final one is the social cognitive career theory. So these are the 5 theories, as I already said, as we have seen in the content part. Okay, see, these theories, these most popular 5 theories are also called as the Big 5 career theory. Okay. And the first theory, the theory of work adjustment. Okay, so the theory of work adjustment, we can also abbreviate it as TWA. So it has developed by Davies and Lockseed. So this person has developed these theories, and again it has some developments over the time. Okay, initially it has developed in 1980s, and over time there are some developments in this theory. So it's a class of theory in career development that is anchored on the individual difference tradition of vocational behavior, called the person environment correspondence theory. Okay, so this is a class of theory, a class of career developmental theory. So if we okay, I received a comment that I'm speaking a little bit fast, so I will try to reduce my speed somewhat. Okay, so this theory of work adjustment. So this is actually a class of career development theory. So there are so many theories in relation to different discipline, different areas, and these theory of work adjustment actually fall into the class of career development theory. Okay, so this has focusing on the individual differences of the tradition of vocational behavior, how the vocational behavior differ from one another. So mainly this theory also called as the person environment correspondence theory. The theory of work adjustment can also be called as the person environment correspondence theory. Okay? Because this name is more details than the work adjustment theory, because this theory mainly talk about the person environment connection or person environment fit. Okay, so this theory of work adjustment views career choice and development as continual process of adjustment and accommodation. Okay, so this theory views that development in career and progressing in career is a continual process. Okay, so it's not a short-term process. It will not end with a particular time, end after a particular period of time. So it will continue for a long period of time. It's a continual process of adjustment and accommodation in which the person looks for the organization, looks for work organization and environment that would match his or her requirement in terms of the need. So it's a continual process of adjusting and accommodating his or her job. So as the name suggests, it's a work adjustment. So the person tries to adjust and accommodate his career choice and development, where he will look for the organization or the work environment. So what the person is looking for is that he will try to find an organization or a working environment that is matching with his or her requirement in terms of sometimes a particular person may have some needs, the person may have some requirements, and he will try to find an organization or he will try to find particular institution which is providing a work environment which is matching to his or her requirement in terms of the need. Okay, so that is the first thing the person try to adjust. And second thing, environment in turn looks for the individual who have the capability to meet the requirement of the organization. How the person is looking for an organization or a work environment which would match his or her requirement. In the same way, environment is also looking for someone or some individual who have the capability. So that particular person should have the capability to meet the requirement of the organization. So environment in the sense, the organization also looking for a person who have the skills, knowledge and abilities, or all the capabilities to meet the requirement of the organization. So here a two-way expectation is there. The person is expecting something from the organization. In turn, the organization also expecting something from the individual. Okay, so adjusting the career choice and development in order to match both of these requirements is called the work adjustment theory. So the term satisfaction is used to indicate the degree a person is satisfied with the environment. So here this theory suggests two terms. First one is the satisfaction. Second one is the satisfactoriness. Okay. So satisfaction is the term which is used to indicate the degree to which a person is satisfied with the environment. So how much a particular person is satisfied with the work environment or the organization which he works for. Okay. So that extent of satisfaction or extent of happiness is indicated by the term satisfaction. And the satisfactoriness is used to denote the degree that environment is satisfied with the person. Okay. Okay, so here two terms have been identified and used by this theory of work adjustment. First one, the satisfaction. Second one is the satisfaction. So satisfaction is the degree to which or the extent to which a particular person is satisfied with the environment. And the satisfactoriness is the degree that environment is satisfied with the person. Since there is a two-way expectation, two-way relationships there, the person is expecting something from the environment. In turn, the environment is also expecting the person to have the capabilities to meet the requirements. So if those requirements, if the person is having such capabilities to meet the requirement of the environment, we can say that, okay, that there is some satisfactoriness exists. And if the person is also for the organization that would match his or her requirement, and if the work environment matches the particular person's requirement, we can say that the particular person is satisfied with the job. So two terms are used to indicate those things. Okay. So to a person, the most central requirement to meet from the environment are his or her needs. Okay. So the person expecting that environment should meet his or her requirements. Okay. So what are those requirements are the needs of his or her personality. Okay, so that particular person may have some needs. Okay, so some reinforcements are necessary for that person to exist or to perform his or her duty. So whether those needs are fulfilled by the particular environment or the work environment, that is the first thing. The person, the most central requirement, the person is expecting that the work environment to meet his or her requirement, satisfy his or her requirement. Okay, and what are those requirements are his or her needs for the reinforcers. So these needs could be further dissected into the categories of psychological needs and the physical needs. Okay, so that requirements are the needs and reinforcers of a particular person, and that needs can be further break into two categories. First one, the psychological needs. Second one is the physical needs. Okay, there are two categories of needs. And to the environment, however, the most central requirements are the ability. Okay, so again, the environment is also looking for the particular person to meet that organization's requirement. So the most central requirement of the environment are the ability. So it is expecting that the person should have the capability to meet the environment's organization's requirements. So here the central requirements is the ability, which are operationalized as dimension of skills that a person possesses that are considered necessary in a given environment. Okay, so they are the operationalized as dimension of skills. Okay, so there should be some dimension of skill that a person possesses that are considered necessary in a given environment. So here a person should have that skill, knowledge and ability in order to perform the necessary requirements of the organization. Okay, so the overall degree of person satisfaction. See here we are using two terms to indicate whether these matches there, whether the particular person is matching with the environment, whether the environment is matching with the particular person. In order to indicate that, we are using two terms. First one, satisfaction and the satisfactoriness. So the degree of person satisfaction and the environment satisfactoriness would jointly predict a person's tenure in that work environment. Okay, so here So here you can see that if the person is actually satisfied with the job, if the person has some satisfaction, and if the environment is satisfied with the person, like environment satisfactoriness, both the things will jointly decide or it will predict how long this person will be with the organization, will be with the work environment. Okay, the tenure of the particular person will be decided by the factors. Okay, jointly, these satisfaction and the satisfactoriness, both factors will jointly decide how long this person will be working for this organization. Okay, so the recent formulation of the theory of work adjustment speculated on the effect of diverse adjustment styles that could be used to explain how a person and environment continuously achieve and maintains their correspondence. So, since there are two-way expectation, we have to adjust our behavior or adjust our capability to match to the organization requirement, and also the organization also need to adjust its work environment in order to match to the requirements of the person's needs. Okay, so how this happens? So this theory of work adjustment says that the recent formulation. So recently it has formulated that the effect of diverse adjustment styles. There are different adjustment styles could be used to explain how a person and environment. So here that fit should be there. So both should adjust. Both the person and the environment should adjust themselves to match with each other. So how this adjustment happens? Okay. So these adjustments could happen through 4 different styles. Okay. So those 4 different styles variables are identified, which are flexibility, activeness, reactiveness, and the perseverance. Okay. So there are 4 different styles which could be used to adjust to the work environment by the person and to adjust to the person by the work environment. Okay. So there are 4 different styles could be used to adjust to match with each other. So the first style is the flexibility. Flexibility means it refers to a person level of tolerance to person environment discorrespondence and whether he or she has a tendency to become easily dissatisfied with the environment. So flexibility means it's a person's level of tolerance. Okay. Even that particular person is dissatisfied with the work environment. He actually doesn't like the environment in which he is working for. The environment, the working condition the person is really unhappy with the working conditions and all. So in such circumstances, how much the person is tolerating all this kind of dissatisfaction. So what is the level of tolerance of that particular person and whether he or she has a tendency to become easily dissatisfied with the environment. So even that work environment and the personality is not matching with each other, whether the person is actually that particular person has the tendency to dissatisfied with the environment. So whether he is becoming dissatisfied with the work environment in which that particular person works. Okay, that is the first style we could use to match with each other. So to maintain the match of work environment and the person. Second style we could use is the activeness. So activeness means it refers to whether a person has a tendency to actively change or act on the environment to reduce the discorrespondence and the dissatisfaction. First one, whether the person is accepting that discorrespondence, that is a mismatch between the work environment and the person, and because of that, whether he has a tendency to become dissatisfied, that is the flexibility. And activeness, when he identifies these discorrespondence, that is a mismatch between the work environment and his or her need or requirement, and when he is dissatisfied with the work environment, whether that particular person has the tendency to change that or act on the environment. So whether he's trying to take any action to change these discorrespondence or this dissatisfaction, that is the activeness. Third one is the reactiveness. Okay, reactiveness means it conversely refers to whether a person would resort to self-adjustment in order to deal with the discorrespondence without actively changing or acting on the environment. Rather than changing the environment, activeness means he is trying to, rather than changing him or herself, her needs, he is actually trying to change the work environment. That is the activeness. And reactiveness, in turns, he has identified some discorrespondence or the mismatch between his or her needs and the work environment. But rather than changing the work environment, rather than acting on to change the work environment, he will distort the self-adjustment. He can adjust himself or herself to match with the work environment. That is the reactiveness. Rather than looking for a change in the work environment, he will try to change himself or herself. That is reactiveness. And third one, perseverance. It refers to the degree of resolve and the persistence to adjust and accommodate before choosing to exit the environment. Okay, so how much or how the extent to which you are able to stay with the dissatisfied or the discorrespondence environment and the needs. Okay, and adjust and accommodate before choosing the existing environment. So how much you are trying to adjust to the environment rather than leaving the environment. Okay, that is the perseverance. So perseverance means that you are trying to stay with the dissatisfaction, stay with the discorrespondence. Okay, that is the fourth style. Okay, rather than taking any action to change yourself, or rather than taking any action to change the work environment, you just decided to stay with the dissatisfaction. Okay, so this is all about the theory of work adjustment. Are you all clear about this? Do you have any doubts on this? Anything you ask about the theory of work adjustment? You need to ask about actually. Is that clear? Okay, okay. If it is clear, just give me 2 minutes of time. I'll be back in exactly 2 minutes. Okay. Okay. Shall we start? Okay. So now we will move into the second theory of career development, that is the Holland theory of vocational personality in work environment. Okay. So this is a theory developed by the John Holland. So he offers a simple and easy to understand typology framework on the career interest and the environment that could be used in the career counseling and the guidance. So this is a theory developed by John Holland. So he has developed a very simple theory and easy to understand theory, and that could be usable in the career development and career counseling and career progression related things. Okay. So the Holland, he has postulated that the vocational interest in an expression of one's personality, and that vocational interest could be conceptualized into 6 typologies. Okay, so there are 6 types of personalities. So the Holland has postulated that the interest, the vocational interest, the work-related interest, and in an expression of the personality. Okay, so the personality could be categorized into 6 types. So the persons could be a realistic one, or it could be an investigative personality type, or it could be a artistic, social, or enterprising, or the conventional. So these 6 type of personality categories are there, and according to this personality, we can assign some jobs which are more suitable for this particular personality characteristics. Okay, so this is what developed or postulated by John Holland. So this is a very simple and easy to understandable theory. So in career choice, when you are making a career choice, or when you are progressing in your career, or when you are developing the career, the people search for the environment that would allow them to exercise their skill and abilities and to express their attitude and values. So whenever you are looking for a job, whenever you are applying for a job, and whenever you are trying to move from one job to another job, you will just look for a work environment, and you will just look for an organization which allow you to use or exercise the skills, abilities, and knowledge you had gained in your past, maybe through the education, or maybe through the experience and all. So you might have some skills and abilities and knowledge, and you will expect that particular organization or the work environment should allow you, or should give you some space to exercise those skills, abilities, and the attitude. So attitude, values, and all that could be matched to the personality and the job. Then only that work environment or the job institution will allow you to exercise all these kind of things. Okay. So in any given vocational environment, that means any work environment, any given particular situation, any organizational context, there's a tendency to shape its composition so that its characteristics are like the dominant person in there, and those are dissimilar to the dominant types are likely to feel unfulfilled and dissatisfied. So usually when it comes to the workplace or the work context, if the person's characteristics or the personality is matching to the work environment, then that person would be very satisfied with the job. He would be very happy with the particular job and performing very well. But if the particular work environment and the personality or the given characteristics of the particular person does not match with each other, if there is some mismatch, or if there is some discorrespondence exists, then that person will just feel that he will just feel like unfulfilled, or he will just feel like he's dissatisfied with the job. He's not actually happy with the job. He just want to leave the job or quit the job. So like how he will be feeling about. Okay. So the concept of congruence is used by Holland to denote the status of the person-environment interaction. Okay. So here, that theory of work adjustment, it uses 2 things, the satisfaction and the satisfactoriness, to indicate the correspondence of work environment and the particular person. But here, the Holland has used another term, the congruence, in order to denote whether the person and the work environment, the person's characteristics or the personality and the work environment is actually matching with each other. So a higher degree of match between the person's personality and the interest type, dominant work environmental type, like high degree of congruence. So if the person's personality and the interest of that particular person actually match with the work environment, actually match with the requirements of the organization or the work institution, then there will be a high degree of congruence, and it's likely to result in the satisfaction, vocational satisfaction. That means the job satisfaction is likely to result in if there is a proper match or a high match between the personality or the interest of the particular person and the dominant work environment. But in contrast to that, if there is a low degree of match, that the personality and the work environment does not match with each other, then there will be a low congruence. Okay, the congruence would not be there. That will likely to result in dissatisfaction and the instability. Instability in the sense that person is not actually like to work for an organization. He will always thinking about leaving the organization, that just quitting the job and looking for another job. So like how that person may think about, and it's because of the dissatisfaction caused by the mismatch between the personality and the work environment. Okay. So according to these Holland interest typology, there are 6 types are there. So this could be arranged in a hexagon. So based on an order. So first could be the first category should be the realistic one. Second one should be the investigative. Third one artistic. Fourth social. Fifth one is the enterprising, and the final one is the conventional one. So these orders should be maintained whenever you are drawing or whenever you are going through this hexagon. Okay, so this order should be there. So in order to remember this order very easily, so this Holland has just taken up all the first letters of these 6 categories, and he has formed a word reasec. So when you look into this word reasec, you can just see that the first letter of realistic was the first one, R. First letter of investigative has been put as the second one, I, and like so. All the first letters of all the 6 characteristics have been combined together, and it has formed as a word. So these, in order to maintain this order only, this word has been formed. Okay. So why the people are maintaining this one? Because if the person's personality, the people is actually a realistic one, and the jobs which are very suitable for that particular person is the realistic type. But if the person is not able to find a job that is realistic in nature, then what are the other 2 categories that could be suitable for that particular person is the conventional and the investigative. Okay, so the adjacent fields are suitable for that particular personality, and what is not actually suitable for that person with realistic characteristics is the social type jobs, which is not suitable for that realistic person. In the same way, if the person is actually investigative characteristics, and the jobs which are more suitable for that particular person is the investigative type, and if that particular person is not able to find an investigative job, then okay, the realistic or artistic job could be a little bit suitable for that particular person. But what is not suitable for that person is the enterprising type of job. So opposite the triangles are not suitable for that particular person, and the adjacent triangle are somewhat suitable, but what is more suitable is that particular type. Okay. So the first type is the realistic type. So realistic mean, which is also called as the doers. Okay, so these people, whoever in this type of characteristics, or the people who fall under this type will solve the problem by taking action rather than discussing it. They will actually try to do something rather than always talking about the issue, always discussing is about, always having the documents in a written form. They will actually perform the task and they will actually implement the action. Okay, so that's why they are also called as the doers. And realistic types are interested in the work that requires the skills and strength. So they try to actually work with the people, or they actually work with something. So that requires some skills and strength. They are not just talking about the issues and problems or the solution to solve that issue. They are actually implementing the issue. So for that, they may require some skills and strength. So they will work with hands, machines, tools, active, practical, and adventurous things will be more suitable for this realistic or doers type of personality. So the high traits these type of people will possess would be the practical, masculine, or the stable one. So they are very practical because they are actually these are the people actually implementing the solution. The other people may find out the solution, they may put the solution into a written format, but these type of realistic people will actually implement the solution. And for that implementation, they just need the traits of practical and like masculine, some type of people. So they need some strengths and they have to dominate other people, lead other people to actually do, and they are very stable one. Okay, so these kind of traits should are very high for these realistic type of people. And what are the low traits are the sensitive, feminine, and unstable. Okay, so these are the low traits people for the realistic type of characteristics. And what could be the occupation which is more suitable for the realistic personality type is the construction, because in construction the people actually building the organizations or building some things, or actually constructing the buildings. Okay, and farming, the architecture, and the truck driving, mail carrier. So these kind of jobs are more suitable for the realistic personality type. And the second type is the investigative one. So as how the realistic people are called as the doers, the investigative types are called as the thinkers. They are not actually implementing the action. They are not actually engaging in the actual actions or the implementation progress of that particular issue. But what these kind of people do will, they will just think about the issue and they will find the solution. So they will always think about something. That's why they are called as the thinkers. So the people in this type like to work with the information. So they don't like to work with the real equipments, real instruments and all. They try to, or they wish to work with the information. So investigative types enjoy working by themselves rather than with the group. Okay. So these type of people always want to work alone. They don't want to work with people. They don't want to work. They don't want to form groups or have relationships. So actually, they always want to be alone and want to complete their work alone. Okay. So the actuaries, lawyers, and the doctors all fit into the investigative personality type. So when you just observe these kind of occupation, the lawyers, doctors, and actuaries, they will just work alone. They will not form the coalition, so they don't form the groups to complete any task or action. So most of the time they will be doing the task alone. Okay, so these people are very analytical one. They will just explore knowledge, ideas, and they are not very social type. Okay, so what are the traits which are high for these investigative personalities? The scholarly, intellectual, and the critical one, because all the whatever the traits which are necessary to think about the information or to deal with the information are high for these people. And low traits would be the powerful, ambitious, and the adventurous. Okay, so these are the traits which are very low in this kind of people, investigative type of people. Okay, so what kind of occupation would be more suitable for these investigative type is the biologist, chemist, dentist, veterinarian, or the programmer. Okay, so all these kind of occupation would be more suitable for these people of investigative type. Okay, and these are the next characteristics or the next type of personality is the artistic one. So artistic means they are the creators. Okay, so how the investigative people are called as the thinkers, these type of people are going to create something, they are going to innovate something. So those kind of people are called as the artistic people. So these people are very creative, they are very inventive, and typically more emotionally aware than the other Holland type. Okay, so these kind of people are very emotionally aware. Okay, so they are trying to always trying to innovate something, always trying to find something new. So those kind of people are called as the creators. And artistic types are independent but enjoy working with other people. So that investigative type, they will always try to complete their task alone. They don't work as a group. They don't form group coalitions and all. But even these artistic type of people want some independence to complete their task or to complete their action, but they don't ignore this group. They don't avoid the groups and coalition at all. Okay, so they enjoy working with other people, but however, even in group also, they expect some kind of or some extent of independence to work with. Okay. So the graphic designers, writers, musicians all fit into the artistic personality type. Okay, so these type of people are very literary because more of the poets, the people who are writing the songs, and also or the novel writers, or everything will be all kind of people will be falling under this category. So we are very literary, they are very musical, artistic activities, and they are very emotional. As already said, these are the this is the kind, or this is the type of Holland who are very emotional than the all other type. Okay, and they are very creative and open to experience as well. Okay, and the traits which are high for the artistic types are the expressive, creative, and the spontaneous. Okay, and low traits are orderly, efficient, conventional, social, and the masculine. So these people are not very function in a very organized manner. Okay, so they don't order things and they don't follow the conventional way of doing things. So whatever the thing, they will try just a new way to complete the thing, or they will just try to find something new. Okay, so this is the artistic type. So the occupation which is more suitable for this type are artist, musician, poet, interior designer, and the writer. These kind of occupations are most suitable for the artistic kind of personality. And fourth kind of personality, or fourth category of Holland personality is the social type. This type is also called as the helpers. So the people in this type enjoy teaching or helping others. So these kind of people always want to work with other people. They don't want to, or they don't wish to work alone. So they always try being surrounded by other people, or enjoy being working with other people. So these kind of personality is called as the social. And the social type value working with others and creating the relationship. So they give some value for the relationship. So for the social exchange. Okay. So the teachers, counselors, and the human resource professionals all fit into this social personality type. And these social personality types are very trained, they are very informed, they are supportive, they just avoid the technical skills, and they have some empathy for the relationships, they maintain the relationship, they have some value for the social connections and all. Okay, so the traits which are very high for these social types are cooperative, friendly, and the humanistic one. Okay, and traits which are very low for the social category is the ambitious, creative, and strong. So the occupation which is more suitable for these social type is the social work, counseling, police officer, and helping. So these kind of jobs are more suitable for this social type. And the enterprising, they are called as the persuaders. Okay, so these type of people are all also enjoy working with the information like the investigative type, but these kind of people are somewhat different from the investigative type. So they value the status and security. Okay, so like the entrepreneurs, stockbrokers, and the salespeople, they all fall into the enterprising category. So by giving the information or sharing the information, they try to persuade other people to do something. So that kind of persuasion they will expect for. That's why that is the difference between the enterprising category and the investigative category. So investigative type, they don't persuade others to do something. Okay, so these enterprising people are verbally skilled, they are very persuasive, and they direct, leader, and dominate. Okay, and the traits which are high for these enterprising are ambitious, adventurous, and energetic one. And the traits which are very low for these enterprising, they are not very intellectual ones. They don't create or they don't innovate something, and they are very feminine. So these are the low traits for the enterprising type. And the occupations which are suitable for these enterprising are lawyers, business executive, politicians, and the TV producer. All these kind of occupations are very suitable for the enterprising type of people. And the final type, according to the John Holland theory, is the conventional type. So this type is also called as the organizers. So people in this type enjoy the rules and regulations. So these kind of conventional people are opposite of the artistic one. Okay, so they the artistic people, they just want to create something new. They just want to do anything in a new way. But this conventional type, they are very organized. They are the organized people, and they just enjoy the rules and regulation. If there is any traditional way of doing something, a conventional way of doing something, they will just follow those things. They will not just try to change something or try to implement a new thing. They will just follow whatever exists already. Okay, so that type of personality is the conventional one. Like enterprising type, they put a value on status and money. Okay, so enterprising, they value the status and security, and conventional, they value the status and money. However, they have a dislike for unclear and unstructured work. So these conventional type want everything should be structured, everything should be organized in a proper manner. So they don't like the unclear and unstructured work. Okay, so the chief operating officers, personal financial planners, economists fit into the conventional personality type. So the traits which are high for this consumptional type is the stable, efficient, dependable, and controlled one. And the traits which are very low for the conventional type is the intellectual, adventurous, and the creative. And the occupation which is more suitable for the conventional type is the bank teller, the clerk typist, cashier, and the data entry, because this type of occupation doesn't need any innovation, anything to be done in a new way. So they just want to follow the conventional way of doing everything. Okay. So accordingly, the types that are adjacent to each other in the hexagon have the highest degree of similarity in terms of their personality characteristics and the vocational orientation. And the types which are opposite in the hexagon have the least degree of similarity, and the type that are separated by one interval have moderate level of similarity. So this is already explained by me that whatever the type which is adjacent to each other will be somewhat suitable, but opposite to each other is not actually suitable. Okay, so this is what the Holland theory of the vocational personality work environment. Is that clear? Anything to clarify? Do you have any doubts? From 166, you want to ask anything? Okay. Okay, so if you don't have anything to ask, or if you don't have any doubts, we can just wind up the class with this. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.